Imagine waking up at 2 a.m., then again at 3:30, and again at 5. For millions of men over 50, that's not a rare night. It's the routine. Frequent trips to the bathroom, a weaker urinary stream, that uncomfortable feeling that the bladder never quite empties. These are some of the most common symptoms men experience as the prostate gradually enlarges with age. Most people assume this is simply part of getting older. But what if some of those changes could actually be influenced by something far simpler than most men expect? Not a new medication, not an expensive supplement stack, but a small set of foods that you can buy at almost any grocery store. Recently, researchers explored an interesting idea. Instead of targeting prostate health with a single nutrient, what happens if we combine several foods that influence different biological systems inside the body? The results caught the attention of many doctors and researchers studying men's health. Today, we're going to break down 4 foods that have been associated with supporting prostate health. And more importantly, why the combination of these foods may be more powerful than any one food on its own. But before we talk about the fruits themselves, we need to understand something that most discussions about prostate health leave out. Because prostate enlargement is not caused by just one problem. It's actually the result of several biological forces working together. And once you understand those forces, the nutritional strategy begins to make much more sense. Many people think prostate enlargement happens simply because men age. Age certainly plays a role, but biologically, several processes are usually involved. Researchers often point to 4 major contributors. 1. Hormonal signaling. Inside the body, testosterone can be converted into a more potent hormone called DHT, dihydrotestosterone. DHT plays an important role in male development earlier in life. However, over time, higher levels of DHT activity within prostate tissue may stimulate continued growth of prostate cells. This is why certain medications for prostate enlargement focus on blocking the enzyme responsible for that conversion. 2. Chronic inflammation. Another factor is long-term low-grade inflammation. As we age, inflammatory molecules in the body can remain elevated for years. Inflammation can signal tissues, including the prostate, to stay in a constant state of repair and growth. That prolonged cycle may gradually contribute to enlargement. 3. Oxidative stress. Our cells constantly deal with oxidative damage caused by free radicals. Normally, the body neutralizes these molecules with antioxidants. But when oxidative stress increases due to diet, environment, or aging, it may damage delicate tissues, including those involved in urinary function. 4. Circulation changes. Healthy blood flow is essential for every organ. But as arteries stiffen with age, circulation to certain tissues may decline. Reduced blood flow can lead to congestion, swelling, and poor oxygen delivery, factors that may worsen urinary symptoms. So instead of one single cause, prostate enlargement often involves hormonal, inflammatory, oxidative, and circulatory factors happening at the same time. That's why many experts believe targeting only one pathway may not always be enough. Which brings us to the 4 foods. Each of these foods appears to influence a different biological pathway related to prostate health. Let's start with something that might already be in your kitchen: tomatoes. But there's an important detail here. Cooked tomatoes appear to provide a different nutritional impact than raw ones. Tomatoes contain a compound called lycopene, a bright red carotenoid pigment responsible for their color. Lycopene has attracted scientific interest for years because it tends to accumulate in prostate tissue more than many other nutrients. Researchers believe this happens because the prostate has a high affinity for carotenoids. Why does that matter? Because lycopene acts as a powerful antioxidant. Antioxidants help neutralize free radicals, unstable molecules that can damage cells and tissues over time. Some studies suggest that higher dietary intake of lycopene is associated with better prostate health markers in men. But here's the interesting part. Cooking tomatoes appears to increase lycopene bioavailability. Heat breaks down the plant's cell walls, making the lycopene easier for the body to absorb. Adding a small amount of fat, such as olive oil, may further improve absorption because lycopene is fat-soluble. This means foods like tomato paste, cooked tomato sauce, stewed tomatoes may deliver more usable lycopene than raw tomato slices. From a practical perspective, incorporating tomatoes into meals can be simple. They can be added to eggs, soups, rice dishes, vegetables, or pasta sauces. And because tomato products are widely available, they're one of the easiest foods to incorporate into a consistent dietary routine. Next on the list are pumpkin seeds. These small seeds have been used traditionally in many cultures as a nutrient-dense snack. What makes them interesting from a prostate perspective is a compound called beta-cytosterol. Beta-cytosterol belongs to a group of plant molecules known as phytosterols. These compounds are structurally similar to cholesterol and can interact with biological pathways related to hormone metabolism. Some research suggests beta-cytosterol may help influence the enzyme responsible for converting testosterone into DHT. By moderating that pathway, it may help reduce excessive growth signaling inside prostate tissue. But pumpkin seeds offer more than just phytosterols. They are also rich in zinc, magnesium, healthy fats, plant protein. Zinc is particularly notable because prostate tissue naturally contains high concentrations of this mineral. Zinc plays a role in immune regulation, cellular repair, and hormonal balance. For many men, pumpkin seeds provide a convenient and natural way to increase intake of these nutrients. They can be eaten as a snack, sprinkled onto salads, or added to yogurt or oatmeal. And because they're shelf-stable, they're easy to keep on hand. The third food shifts our attention to inflammation. Fatty fish such as salmon, sardines, mackerel are among the richest dietary sources of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically EPA and DHA. Omega-3 fats have been widely studied for their effects on cardiovascular health, brain function, and inflammation. Inside the body, EPA and DHA can be converted into specialized compounds that help regulate the inflammatory response. Instead of simply suppressing inflammation temporarily, these molecules may help guide the body toward resolving inflammation more effectively. This distinction matters. Chronic inflammation can persist when the body fails to properly turn off the inflammatory response. Omega-3 fatty acids appear to help restore balance to that system. In prostate tissue, reducing inflammation may support healthier urinary function and tissue stability. Fatty fish also offer other nutrients that support overall health, including vitamin D, selenium, high-quality protein. For those who enjoy seafood, including fatty fish several times per week may provide multiple health benefits beyond prostate support. Cooking methods also matter. Grilling, baking, or pan-searing helps preserve omega-3 content, while deep frying may degrade these delicate fats. The final food on the list may surprise some people. Beets. Beets contain naturally occurring dietary nitrates. When consumed, these nitrates are converted through a series of steps into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is one of the body's most important signaling molecules for blood vessel function. It instructs blood vessels to relax and widen, a process known as vasodilation. Better vasodilation means improved circulation. Why does that matter for prostate health? Improved blood flow may help reduce congestion in pelvic tissues and support oxygen delivery to organs involved in urinary function. Interestingly, dietary nitrates can begin influencing nitric oxide levels relatively quickly after consumption. Athletes often consume beet juice for this reason, as it may support endurance by improving oxygen delivery to muscles. For older adults, improved vascular function may also support cardiovascular and metabolic health. Beets can be eaten raw and grated in salads, roasted as a side dish, blended into smoothies, consumed as beet juice. Like many vegetables, they also provide fiber, folate, and antioxidants. Each of these foods influences a different system. Tomatoes, oxidative protection. Pumpkin seeds, hormone signaling. Fatty fish, inflammation balance. Beets, circulation support. Individually, each may offer modest benefits, but when combined, they create a broader nutritional strategy that touches multiple biological pathways. This multi-pathway approach is becoming more common in modern nutrition science. Instead of searching for a single miracle nutrient, researchers increasingly recognize that dietary patterns often matter more than individual foods. For example, the Mediterranean diet has gained attention because it combines many beneficial components: healthy fats, vegetables, fish, whole foods. Together, these patterns influence inflammation, metabolism, and cardiovascular health simultaneously. The same concept may apply when considering foods associated with prostate health. If someone wanted to incorporate these foods into a regular routine, the process doesn't need to be complicated. Here are some simple ideas. Breakfast: add cooked tomato sauce to eggs or vegetables. Lunch: include a handful of pumpkin seeds on a salad. Dinner: eat fatty fish several times per week. Snack or beverage: add beets to a smoothie or drink a small serving of beet juice. The key is consistency. Small daily habits often influence health outcomes more than occasional dramatic changes. It's important to keep expectations realistic. Diet alone cannot cure every medical condition. Prostate enlargement can have multiple contributing factors, including genetics, age, lifestyle, and underlying health conditions. Nutrition should be viewed as one piece of a larger strategy that may include medical evaluation, physical activity, healthy weight management, proper sleep, stress management. Men experiencing significant urinary symptoms should always consult a healthcare professional for proper evaluation. But understanding how nutrition interacts with the body can empower people to make informed decisions about their long-term health. Perhaps the most important takeaway is this: aging does not automatically mean losing control of your health. The body remains remarkably responsive to the signals we send it. Those signals come from the food we eat, the way we move, the quality of our sleep, the stress we carry. Small choices repeated consistently can gradually shape how we feel over time. And sometimes the most powerful changes come from the simplest adjustments. Adding a few nutrient-rich foods to a daily routine may not seem dramatic, but over months and years, those choices can quietly influence the way our bodies age. So the next time you're planning your meals, it might be worth paying attention to more than just calories or convenience. Think about the signals you're sending your body. A spoonful of tomato sauce, a handful of pumpkin seeds, a serving of salmon, a glass of beet juice. Individually, they may seem small, but together they represent something larger, a shift towards supporting your body rather than simply reacting to problems after they appear. And once you start looking at health through that lens, something interesting happens. You begin to realize that the path to better aging isn't built from one dramatic change. It's built from small, intentional habits practiced every day. And in the next video, we'll explore another fascinating aspect of men's health that many people overlook, one that could have just as much impact on how you feel in the years ahead.